Welcome back again. This is Nilesh, and let's go ahead with the part two of our module for Recce of a swim meet. This is a beautiful image from the sub junior and junior nationals that was held in Bangalore in 2016 at BAC Bangalore. So while we were discussing the second module says about the deliverables. Now, what do we look in the menu? We look at the very important aspect that is important for all the stakeholders, that is the swimming pool and water conditions. Now, this is something which is really important to be checked. Is they have a proper start block, if the condition of the water is good, and the filtration system. These are most important while you choose a venue. And during the recce, this is the first thing that I would go ahead and look within a venue. The second most important thing is there are a lot of swimmers who come in, there are a lot of parents who come in, there are other support staff as well as other stakeholders that come in to the venue during the meet. So the restrooms, the washrooms, male, female, the changing room, because it's a swim meet, is really important. And we need to ensure that the basic hygiene is taken care of. Anything better is a bonus. Warm-up pools are one important aspect of a swim meet. Every swimmer would want to have a warm-up time, and this is mandatory. You need to have a warm-up pool in a venue for a swim meet. The next important aspect is the spectators gallery. Now, if you consider a junior or a sub-junior meet, there are approximately around 1,500 athletes who come in for participating. And if you consider equal number of parents, there are more than 3,000 people inside a venue. So the venue needs to have enough spacious spectator gallery so that these people can be seated. Because usually it is held in the month of June or September, which is monsoons in India. So it is really important to have a decent spectator gallery. Now, operations team as well as the federation, they basically work hand in hand. So you need to be as close or together if they're placed. That helps because there's a lot of sharing of information that happens while the meet is being conducted. So this is one thing which is really important. Power backup, most of the equipments run on power. And what happens is, in case the venue is located at any location, may it be remote or the city, there are chances of a power failure. What if that happens during the meet? And most of the, I mean, in fact, all the touchpads work on power. So you need to have a proper power backup so that all these meets, which are FINA approved meets or not, the timings of the touchpad is considered final, and it would be really unfair to have a re-race for any athlete. So power backup is really important. The next important aspect is branding. There are a lot of people on board, may it be sponsor or there are partners who help in making this event really successful. Hence, branding is really important. And location of the branding, ideally, which we'll be speaking in the branding section exclusively, is very crucial. Parking, yes, if the facility is so big where you can accommodate around more than 3,000 odd people, you need to have decent parking. Although it's not within the facility, even if it's outside, well and good. However, it is always preferable to have some dedicated parking allocated for some important guest or chief guest. So that needs to be taken care of. Now, weather conditions or predictions, you cannot do much about it. But since it is usually the event is conducted during monsoons, it is expected to rain. However, if we can go about making some arrangements like sheds for the participants, for the technical officials, for spectators, and more importantly, you cannot conduct an event where, in case you want to do an IM or a backstroke during monsoons. These are things that you need to take into consideration. Now, what do you expect from the National Sports Federation in case you say swimming is the Swimming Federation of India? So, the first thing that I would expect is they need to introduce us to the local state or the district federation. The role allocation of different members or volunteers is really important since they'll be having sponsors as well as partners on board. The brand identity of their logos is critical. So anything that is mentioned on the certificates, trophies, medals, or any branding area, the logos have to be checked before it gets printed. So these are things that you always check during a recce in case there are fixed sponsors. But you need to get it checked with the National Sports Federation. The dates for press conference, because press conference is one important element for announcement of the meet. So, in the presence of the crucial members of the National Sports Federation, the local federation, as well as your title sponsors and the main sponsors. So the dates are really important, and the release, the first press release to announce the event and the details of the event, so that the press is glued to the event. They give maximum mileage to this event. The list of participants who are going to be participating in the event is usually shared by the national federation, which they've received from the state federations. And again, the schedule of the event, which is also really important, if that is available handy, it can be shared with media and other stakeholders. What is the role of local federation? Now, local federation are the guys who stayed at the venue, who've been part and parcel of each and everything happening at the venue. Now, the first thing is they know the overall swimming pool really well. They know where is the entry point, where is the exit point. Now, these are things that you need to get it clarified with the local federation, because that helps you. You know, it saves your task. Second thing is the confirmation on the stage and the branding opportunities. The local guys would be the right people to tell you where exactly was the stage put up in the last event. And in case you also ask them, they'll also be able to tell you which were the places where branding was done. Now, there are also local team and the pool staff that usually work during the event. If you idly know them, it just helps, because these are the people that are going to see you on a frequent basis. So, a good relationship with them really helps. Now, most of the time, our team stays at a place which is close by. So, the local federation is usually the one who helps us with references to a local restaurant, a hotel, or the transport vendors. So we also ask them to arrange for meetings with the local vendors, so that, in case we always prefer to have local vendors on board during an event, and then that's the best option for any last minute hiccup. A local vendor helps better than an outsider. And then again, since we're going to be speaking about this, we need to have a basic update about the transport and accommodation being done for the overall meet. Final list of sponsors and the partners are shared with the local federation, because they also generate a lot of sponsors on board for the successful running of the event. So that is a timeline has been set for sharing the latest list of sponsors by the local federation. And again, the local federation also help us suggest dates for press conferences, ideally 3 4 days prior to the meet, and get a local talent or like local sports person on board who can just be useful for making it a successful press con. We ideally expect them to share the local media contacts. Now, local media contacts helps because these are the people who carry details about the event, about the top athlete in that particular meet. Moving on. We expect something from local federation as well. While I mentioned it earlier, they need to share the final sponsors list. The safety and security of each and every stakeholder at the venue during the meet is really important. So we request them to arrange for a cardiac ambulance and a fire brigade. Along with that, since we said that there's going to be so many number of people who are going to be using the restrooms, and there are chances that it's going to get dirty. So, a dedicated team of housekeeping staff who keeps on cleaning the restrooms and ensuring that is it's clean and hygienic is the basic that we can ask for. We've already mentioned power backup. Power backup is the most important aspect of the conduct of the meet. So during a recce, I ensure that we have a track of having power backup at the venue. High speed internet, minimum three connections. One is required for live streaming. The second one is to be used by the operations team as well as the federation. And third is a backup. In case there's any of these which fails, it helps. So these three, which will be spoken about during the live streaming module. They'll also tell about what internet connection is required. Security, yes, because there'll be guests coming in, there'll be some chief guests coming in, there'll be a lot of athletes of different age group. To safeguard everyone's interest, security at various entry and exit points is really crucial. We also get a lot of dedicated volunteers who are part of the local federation, who've been ex-swimmers, who've been part of the swimming pool, who come and help us with various aspects, because at times you work at a venue where the language is a barrier and the culture is a barrier. There could be different barriers, but having someone from the local team as volunteers really help. So this is end of my second part of the module that speaks about uh, recce for a swim meet. I'll see you in the third part soon.